Hello, everyone. My name is Zeotrex, and today we are doing a review of Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. So, Monarch's been getting some real weird signals from Hollow Earth, and so with the help of Kong, they try to find the source of it. Godzilla gets ready for their biggest fight yet. I wasn't really that excited for this movie, honestly, and the reason sort of being I don't know. It just didn't look that much engaging for me. I guess I just didn't have that same hype I did with Godzilla versus Kong. Hell, I wasn't even excited for that fucking Monarch show that had Godzilla in it. Dude, what is with the fucking lighting, by the way, on this monitor? That's bullshit, dude. But anyways, um I have a wonderful story to tell before we actually get down to the meat and bones of this thing. So you know how you buy a ticket for the movies, right? I mean, that's how you see the thing. Let me organize my stuff while I tell this story. By the way, no, I don't want to fucking. So you know how you buy the tickets to the movie to see it? Well, we bought the tickets to um we bought the tickets to Godzilla, and we were told, okay, go to theater 4. We went to theater 4 because we went to theater 4 to take care to we go to theater 4 to watch the movie. So we sit there, we wait for the ads to finish up, right? It's fucking Ghostbusters. We were sent to the theater to see Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, which don't expect a review on that piece of shit. Um but I was confused. So we decided to go to her and ask which theater Godzilla's in to go to Godzilla final fucking battle. So not only did we wait 2 hour and like an hour and 20 minutes, well, like we waited at least half an hour for these trailers to finish. We then had to wait for the next showing to begin, and then wait for those trailers to finish up those trailers. So we saw more trailer than we did movie, and it's frustrating because the Showtime showed it was a 110, which to my understanding, when the showtime on the theater website is not for when the movie begins, it's when the trailers start. So I was confused. Why is it that, like, because I assumed Ghostbusters was playing at the same time, right? Either way, it was really annoying. It was so frustrating for this because this could have been prevented by the simple idea of the theater houses displaying what movie is playing. For those who, for some bit of context here, the theater houses don't have what movies is playing. They have that little plate, which I assume that's where it's supposed to be, but that's a Cinemark ad, and it's just frustrating because we waited so long because nothing in that theater indicated we were watching Ghostbusters. Uh, I don't know. It's frustrating. The Cinemark has some poor management, from my understanding. When I talked about this to my friend, who has some experience in it, so yeah, let me know on that fucking Showtime thing, so that doesn't happen ever again. Anyways, um, was this movie worth it? I'd say yeah, actually. This movie is just so much fun. Is it the most cinematic Scorsese, like Quentin Tarantino thing in the world? No, and it doesn't have to be. And I'm going to just bring this up right now. If you compare this movie to Godzilla Minus One, shut the fuck up, please. It is so annoying that critics expect every move. This isn't new with Godzilla, by the way. If we go back to like Godzilla King of the Monsters, that got negative reviews mainly because of its human story, which isn't the best thing in the world, but we are seeing these movies for Godzilla, not humans. Um, and I'm tired of every movie having to be some like Scorsese or Tarantino level masterpiece that defies expectations and changes the genre. You want to watch a movie like that, go watch Monkey Man, dude. Because you're not going to find that in Godzilla and Kong. Because it is lizard, monkey. They fight each other. They fight with each other. That's you expect cinema out of that? Dude, fucking hell. Have you never seen a Godzilla movie before? I'm not gonna blame Godzilla minus one, but dude, it coming out like a few months before this. By the way, congratulations on that Oscar. That was right, my fucking mic. Congratulations on that Oscar. Y'all deserved it, but um, this movie. I heard that movie like fucking kicks ass and is pretty awesome. Can't wait for that to come on streaming. And to my knowledge, that is a much more serious Godzilla movie. So for that movie to come out, um, like a few months before this movie, I feel like that ruined the review and critique side of this movie because everyone is expecting, this movie to be darker and serious. I literally see people complaining about the fact that Godzilla ran alongside Kong, where it's like, why is Godzilla running? That's stupid. My brother in Christ, he has done the drop kick. He has danced. He flew away using his atomic breath. He had straight up even fucking talked at one point to Anguirus in Godzilla versus Gigan, which, here, let me just fucking get this out. And you know what? Here, let me add another thing to the background. What is that? That is not the movie. Oh shit, it's back there. But, I mean, fucking hell. You see, this is Godzilla versus Megalon on VHS, which is a very silly movie that literally had like a Gundam fucking Ultraman style superhero in it. Godzilla is not supposed to be serious. I mean, he can be at sometimes. GMK and the original and minus one and the 2014 movie, these are all very serious and darker Godzilla movies that displays him as this threat against humanity, but he has been a good guy more than he has been a bad guy. He has been a defender of the universe. And this movie actually harkens back to the Showa era of Godzilla, because he kind of, hell, I mentioned the drop kick and the flying away and the dance. He does something in this movie that may as well add to that lineup of goofy shit. Now, why am I complaining about this as a Godzilla fan? Because it's mostly a Kong movie. I would say unfortunately, but um I loved Kong in this movie. This is a Kong movie. As a Godzilla fan, it's disappointing. I'll get into that in a minute, but he's essentially um he's our protagonist again, and I think what they did with him was great. He is essentially just trying to live his life, where he then meets Zuko, the little baby Kong, who then guides him to the new empire. I know, I just went off a big rant of movie theaters before. So yeah. The Kong stuff in this movie is without a doubt the best part of this movie. Without spoiling too much or going too far ahead, this movie shows that you really don't need humans to tell an engaging story. There is a scene where Kong meets this new empire and he goes up against our main villain, Scar King, that has no dialogue, no humans, and yet you are perfectly able to understand every emotion and um, character. No, you are able to understand every emotion and everything, every like movement. You get the story out of these apes. Which, granted, these are monkeys, so monkeys are like expressive. He was Doug shows up again. I guess spoilers. I think Hollow Earth is a great concept that I hope we do see more throughout the series. Honestly, um, Doug shows up again. Like I said, he was fun to see, and I see some people complain about a scale issue, like, oh, these monsters look too small in Hollow Earth. Please shut the fuck up. Hollow Earth is a dimension or realm or whatever it's labeled for monsters. No shit, everything's gonna seem small because this is their land. When monsters actually comes back into Earth, we actually see how big they are. Hold on. checking some shit. So yeah, Hollow Earth is made for monsters, so no shit these guys look smaller here. Hold on, let me just do something. Is my door open? Okay. Godzilla, the monsters are cool to see, although I would say a bit uninteresting. I'm not a biggest fan of the Hollow Earth monsters. There's a few highlights here and there. Again, Doug I thought was pretty fun. But no, these are just regular like monsters. Nothing too outrageous. And Godzilla, on the other hand, he shows up, kills a monster, and then we go back to Kong. It's disheartening as a Godzilla fan, and again, I will get into this tangent later. So let's go back to the Kong side of things and talk about Star King. I think this guy is up there right alongside Ghidorah in terms of best villains in the MonsterVerse. Hell, it might even be better than Ghidorah. This guy was terrifying. He was so full of personality, and one of my favorite moments, again going back to that whole Empire scene, is when he looked at Kong's tooth and then began to laugh in his face. Again, that entire scene does not have any emotion whatsoever, and you don't really need humans to tell a story like this, but there's humans in this movie, so let's talk about it. They're fine. They're not the worst thing in the world. Gia returns as our main character, which I want to bring this up. I actually just realized this. Each of these MonsterVerse movies has a character carry over to the next. Like we dump characters, but we have at least like one or two characters carry over. So in the first movie, it was Aaron Taylor Johnson and Bryan Cranston. That whole dynamic, they got dumped, and then Serizawa returned in the next movie. And then in Godzilla versus Kong, we had Millie Bobby Brown return. And then in this movie, we have Bernie, Gia, and I think her mother was in the last movie. I don't really know. But these characters are okay. I think Bernie is back, and he goes a bit over the top. I thought he was funny in the last movie, but here I think he goes a bit over the top. Trapper, however, I think he is the best part of this movie. He's really charming and really charismatic. And I like what they did with him. He's a fun character, and I actually hope we do see Trapper more throughout the not MCU, this the MV. My biggest issue with this movie is its length. It's an hour and 50 minutes, and I think it should have been the full 2 hours, like a 2:15, like 2 hours 15 minutes. There's points in this movie that feel really rushed, mainly the beginning and the end. Um, so we kind of this movie just has a messy way of getting characters from point A to point B, like trying to move them along, right? So Gia sees these like drawings and visions in her dreams that make her like that's like, okay, sure, that's we should go down to Hollow Earth. Um we should go down to Hollow Earth. And it's just really rushed. A character literally fucking dies in this movie, and they don't really acknowledge it. It's kind of played off for laughs and jokes, and it's like, I'm overthinking this. That was a real guy. That was someone that you knew, and he's dead, and no one seems to react. I think this also comes with the ending, where after they have their big epic battle and Scar King's defeated and all that, the movie just kind of ends. They set up a plot point with Bernie, in the movie where Bernie, um, is like they set up a plot point with Bernie where he's like he shouldn't record this thing, and they don't really follow up on that. The movie just kind of ends, and um, I just wish this movie was a tad bit longer, just so we could see more goofy, fun action, but also so things are connected a bit better. Trapper. Okay, so Kong's arm is injured. This isn't a spoiler. We know about Kong's arm. His arm is injured. Trapper is like, okay, yeah, let me just go back to where that arm was. This whole like project thing, and then comes back really fast, despite the fact it probably took them hours to get from there to here, and then he just goes there and here like it's nothing. I I I, I think Godzilla, and again, Godzilla is the weakest part of this movie, and I'm speaking from this as a Godzilla fan. the pink upgrade that he gets, this thing, which I just got today. Um, I mean, he looks great. I think the pink upgrade is fantastic, but um, I mean, it's just I guess a bit stronger form. I guess we don't really see it do much other than him charging it up and blowing stuff up. Like he doesn't kill anyone with it, you know. He looks great though. And I fucking love how agile this Godzilla has become, and I love how much personality they've given him. I like how this version of Godzilla has essentially just turned into an alligator with how he runs. Because you guys remember in Godzilla versus Kong when he like would run on all fours towards Kong? I think that was great. Um, Something I always thought about was Monster vs Godzilla is just how bulky he is, and so I imagine that he couldn't really do a lot of the funny things like a drop kick or dancing. No, he like runs in this movie again. I wish you could see it, but no, fucking God, it is like yeah. This is you can see Kong better here than you can in here. I guess that just describes how this movie is. Maybe if I don't know. I just fucking knocked down my Kong figure for nothing. Um, he does a suplex on Kong, and it's great. Let me see. There is a this movie is also just really funny. There's a part with Kong and Suko, the little baby Kong, and if you've seen the movie, you actually fucking what I'm talking about. Um, Suko's a charming little fella, honestly. I like that this is technically the son of Kong, and again, he's just really funny. He doesn't really do anything like when he first shows up. That's like where all the comedy comes from. But I don't know. Maybe it's just my humor relying to haha monkey. Um, and again, this empire. I don't know. I'm jumping all over the point. I love how all these apes are like tortured under the command of the Scar King. I also want to talk about something. So spoilers, I guess, for the end of the movie. Kong becomes the ruler of this new empire, and well, I think now we have the perfect reason to call him King Kong. Which, I mean, he does become a king here, and that's something weird to think about with Kong is that he's not officially called King Kong. I think Godzilla X Kong is just pure fun. I know this movie has just been me pointing out a lot of the issues with it, but I think it is a fun time to sit there and just gawk at something fun. There's a lot of fun action sequences. It's not trying to be a big cinematic masterpiece, but no, the goal in mind is um pretty much just this. You play with toys, and that's it, and it succeeds. Because I think it shit, and I think it also teaches a lesson that not every movie needs to be a big cinematic masterpiece. I'm gonna give this movie a B plus, uh, and I want to talk about a certain Titan in this movie. So we are now in fucking spoiler territory here. Where should I put her? She's back. Oh man, it was so good fucking seeing Mothra back. And I love what they did with her. She looks beautiful. I don't think I mentioned this. The visuals in this movie are really good. There's some parts where the CGI looks a bit rough, but yeah. Gia has her tribe in this movie, and the leader of this tribe, they don't explicitly say it to my understanding, but the leader is her sister, her twin sister. I was so Godzilla. If you're a Godzilla fan, you know what twins in the Godzilla universe mean. So I'm so glad that they did this part of the Godzilla mythos. Because I mean, they're such an iconic part. They're usually a lot smaller. Um, in the movies, the fucking shitty ass anime movies adapted them, but I mean, Mothra looks beautiful. It's great to actually see her, by the way. They throw Mothra in lighting where we can see her, and that's another thing I want to condemn Godzilla X Kong for. Dude, this movie, like, it's you know how the biggest issue with the first two Godzilla movies were the fact that you couldn't really see the monsters. This movie fully fixes that issue. Godzilla vs Kong progressed it enough to where it's like, okay, yeah, we see these monsters fighting each other in lighting that we can see, but it still had that issue where like it cut to the humans a lot. No, this movie just lets them fight, and that's great. Um, but again, it's great to see Mothra actually here in lighting where we can fully appreciate her design. Because in King of the Monsters, what they fucking did was they had her surrounded by stormy clouds or a waterfall, and there was only like one moment where we really only saw her wings just by the way they positioned it. We really only saw her wings. We never got a good look at what she looks like fully. Um, I'm trying to think. I think seeing Godzilla's reaction to Mothra was great as well. It's kind of like how Stoic saw his wife again, and I just love seeing Mothra return. And by the way, this Funko Pop is so cool, but I wish they had a normal Mothra Funko Pop. Um, Also, I think they do this thing in the earlier in the movie where she goes to help Bernie, and they just name drop kaiju's. I like seeing that. It's like, oh yeah, yeah, we fought Mecha Godzilla, and yeah, we fought King Ghidorah. It's like that's I don't know. I get a kick out of that. I get a kick about hearing monsters' names. Um, these are monsters I like, and again, I hope this universe does eventually wrap back around to Godzilla. Um, because I like the Kong stuff, but I want more Godzilla focused things. I heard that fucking Monarch show doesn't even focus on him. He has like 5 minutes of screen time throughout 8 episodes. But it's like, yeah, he technically only has like what 15 minutes of screen time in these movies, but in a show, I'm gonna have to watch that for myself. But yeah, I mean, I think these MonsterVerse villains are cool. I like the Mutos, and I like Scar King, and I like Shimu, who I haven't mentioned yet, but I'll talk about her in a minute. Um, but I mean, come on, Adam. Give us Anguirus, give us Biolante, give us Megalon, or give us Jet Jaguar. So, this isn't in the script, but I've been seeing a lot of campaigning for this. So the reason why Kong has the metal arm is because they had the scraps of Mecha Godzilla, which, by the way, I like how they had the scraps of Ghidorah, the scraps of Mecha Godzilla, and now they have this. And so it was mentioned that they tried to give Kong like an exosuit upgrade, but funding was pulled for it. It was like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't make this Titan even stronger than he already is. That didn't work out well, and I see a lot of people campaigning for this to lead into Jet Jaguar. I don't know how likely it would be to have Jet Jaguar show up. He did show up in Godzilla Singular Point, so there's obviously um some fan campaigning. There's obviously some like resurgence in him, but it would be great to see Jet Jaguar show up, especially with Trapper being in control. Either they do the size shifting gimmick that he did in Godzilla vs. Megalon, or whatever. I hope we see Jet Jaguar again, and I hope we see more monsters like Gigan. In fact, they're actually Adam did say that he was going to try doing Destroya in the next movie, or like pay respects to Destroya. Um, I'd like that. Not just pay respects, have Destroya in the movie. Because I don't know how well this would work, but in King of the Monsters, they had the Oxygen Destroyer show up. And if you know how Destroyer works, I don't know. I think Destroyer could work as sort of the endgame villain. But either way, I just want more of those kaijus. I'm not sure if Toho is just holding those guys back, but Either way, there was a crab monster in this movie that reminded me of Ebera, but I think it's not even. I don't think it's Ebera, sadly. Um, so let's talk about Shimo. I like how she is the Scar King's like best pet, and I like the backstory um given to her. We don't really see Shimo that much, but I like how she is under control and how she becomes Kong's pet at the end of the movie. I think she has a really cool design. Her being an ice version of Godzilla. I don't know if they're supposed to be the same species or not. The way this backstory is given to us, though, is it's so bad. Gia's tribe does not speak, so our main character just so happens to know the language that this tribe speaks and perfectly explains the writing on the walls. It's just exposition dumping. Um, and again, I already mentioned the action earlier, but Godzilla 2014 would cut away before they fought. Godzilla King of the Monsters would keep cutting back to the humans every time they fought. Like we would see those fight scenes, but it would always just fucking pan down to the humans or um just have them fight in the background, which was annoying. And Godzilla vs Kong fixed the lighting issue that I don't think it was prevalent in Godzilla 2014. It was just a bad transfer and that actually got fixed. But this movie just lets them fight, and I'm proud of it. Um, I could rant about how much I want this universe to go back being Godzilla focused again, but I like Kong. This movie was really fun, and I don't know what my next review is gonna be. Um, mentally, I've just been in the shitter, so I have like no motivation to do like anything, honestly. But um, yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this review. This is my first video of 2024. That room tour is fucking canceled because of just behind the scenes drama between stuff. So they'll probably get that at the, I guess, end of this year or sometime. I don't know. My room is a complete fucking mess right now, and while my room was fine there again, I just don't want to upload it and be associated with the camera person. Other than that, long live the new empire.